Hello students, today in today's video we'll be studying about Hadoop distributed file system basics. That is your first topic in your module 1. So in this we'll be covering Hadoop distributed file system design features and HDFS block replication, what is replications, what is safe mode, rack awareness, name node high availability, name node federation, checkpoints and backup snapshots, and NFS gateways, all about HDFS. Okay, and in next video we'll be studying about HDFS user commands, some commands which will be using how to store, how to take a list of files, and how to copy one file to HDFS and how to copy from HDFS to the clients. All this will be studying in your next videos. Okay, so let's start with the Hadoop high level architecture. As you can see in the picture, in the architecture there is a Hadoop client, name node, job tracker, data node, task tracker and so on. Okay, so we'll see this one by one. So firstly, what is file system? A file system is nothing but it's used to store data in your hard drive. As you know, there are different file system, NTFS you have seen in your Windows, and if you put pen drive you will be seeing FAT32. So that is a file system which is used in your Windows or in your pen drives. Similarly, your Hadoop will be using Hadoop distributed file system to store your data. Okay, now your Hadoop will be using Google file system, that is your GFS file system, which is similar to your Google file system. Okay, the next one is HDFS is going to store data in terms of blocks. Okay, now what are these blocks? Blocks are nothing but chunks of data. That is, a block consists of 64 MB or 128 MB and 256 MB and so on. Okay, so minimum block size should be 64 MB. Fine. Now for example, we'll take a data of a video which can consist of 1 GB data, 1 GB video. Okay, now this video should be stored in your Hadoop environment. Okay, how this is stored is nothing but your 1 GB data will be divided into for example, take a block size of 128 MB. So your 1 GB data will be divided into 128 MB block size. That means 8 blocks are needed to store your 1 GB of data. Okay, so this is a block size. This is a blocks of data is stored. How it is stored and where it is stored will be seen later on. Okay, now HDFS works on the concept of master slave. So you know what is master slave, like client and server. Similarly, it will be having some master node and it will be having some slave node, where we'll be having some master and slave node. It's supposed parallel processing of data. That means it takes if you want to store some 1 GB of data and it requires 8 blocks, parallelly your 8 blocks will be stored in your HDFS. Okay, how it is stored and all, we'll be seeing that. Okay, now you know that in the previous video I have told you about commodity hardware. It's nothing but you can run on any machine and it supports clusters. That is, machine can be from different vendors. Like for example, different vendors means from different it can be from Dell, it can be from HP and all. Your Hadoop system works on all these vendors and it give you ease to use your system. Okay, now as you can see in your Hadoop architecture, a client is requesting some data. Okay, client is requesting some data to the name node and a job tracker. For example, say for example it is requesting some data to the name. Now what is this name node? A name node is nothing but a master node. Okay, so that means a name node manages all the metadata needed to store and retrieve the actual data from the data nodes. Your actual data for that means your video, the 1 GB of data, actually it is stored in a data node, not in a name node, but name node manages the metadata needed to store and retrieve the actual data. Okay, so where it is stored, how it is stored, the IP address of the data, everything is stored in your name node, but actual data is stored in your data node in terms of your blocks. Okay, so no data is actually stored on your name node. Now, as already I have told you, the design is a master slave architecture, in which master is nothing but your name node, that is manages the file system namespace and regulates access to files by clients. It means it gives the access to the clients to access the data from the data node. So directly we can't go and ask the data node to give the data. So we have to go through the name node and ask the data from the data node. So it will provide you all the details where your data is stored and which data node it is stored. Everything will be stored in your name node. Okay. Now a name node manages block creation, deletion and replication. So your name node will provide you how to create a block, and if you want you can delete the block and replicate the block. Replicate means your copies of the blocks will be stored in different data nodes. So we'll see that later what is replication means. Okay, now your slave data, your slave node, for example your data node is responsible for serving read and write. So as a request comes to read or write, it has to provide that to the user or the client. Suppose it wants to read whatever it's stored, it wants to read, yeah, you can read, and if you want to write or you edit something, everything will be done through your data nodes. Okay, so as I already told you about master nodes, so there are 3 master nodes, that is name node is also a master node. So there is something called a secondary node, which is a replica of a name code. That means whatever is saved in name code will be saved in your secondary node. And there is something called as job tracker. A job tracker, it assigns a job to a data node and also keep tracks of which job is given to which data node and how to process which data node is processing the data. Everything will be stored in this job tracker. Okay, now in this Hadoop, your random seeks are not allowed. For example, you are storing this data in 8 blocks. I already told you your video is stored in your 8 blocks. Okay, now randomly you can't select your 5th block or 6th block. It should be in a sequence manner. It means from 1st block to 8th block you can retrieve the data. So randomly you can't select anything like that. And main important in this architecture is there is no caching of data, there is no cached memory. So in your mobile you will be having cache memory because you can retrieve or process the data faster, or in your laptop also, in your system you will be having cache memory because it is bit costly and also it is very faster. But in this Hadoop architecture we won't support this caching of data because there is a huge amount of data which is handled by Hadoop. Huge in the sense it's in terabyte, it's in petabyte. So you can't use this small memory, cache memory to support this kind of architecture. Okay, now as you can see in the next slide, there are multiple data nodes here. There are 3 data nodes here, and there is a client node, there is a name node, there is a secondary name node here. Okay, now suppose a client wants to write a data, that means you want to store some data in a HDFS. So there will be a series of computers, a series of CPUs stored in your data centers where you will be copying those data into that systems. So this is how it is been designed, like it is called your HDFS data block. The data, for example, you can see in your screen data node, there are 3 data node. The whole thing we call as rack 1. There will be similar, there will be rack 2, rack 3 and so on. So a client wants to write some data, so it will be requesting to name node. can you please write or read the data. Okay, so it will give you the reply, yes, you can read or write in this data. So this is the IP address where you can store it. This is the location, and this is the name of the data node, might be data node 1, data node 2, data node 3, so where you can write the data. So similarly, the client will write the data or read the data in any of the nodes given there. Now it is a job of the data node. For example, your client has written to data node 1 there. Now it is a job of a data node to copy the same data to some other data node. That means that is a replica. As I earlier told you, replica is nothing but copying the same data into some other rack or some other data node, where we can take a backup. If something happens to a data node, we can have a backup from the other data nodes. Okay, so this is a mainly there are only 3 replicas of your data stored, because the data is very huge. There will be copies of only 3 data nodes. For example, if one data node has been destroyed or failed, your data node second will be adding one more data replica of the same data. That means 3 copies will be always saved in your HDFS. Okay, now your, as I already told you about name node, will be having the details of the data node, the metadata details. Same thing will be having about a secondary name node. If something happens to your name node, your secondary will be having a backup of your name node. Okay. So the next slide, you can see a diagram which is showing you about HDFS replication. So for example, as you can see, there is a block or data file of 64 MB blocks. Okay, there are 5 blocks. Each block consists of 64 MB. Okay, now you need to store that 5 blocks into this data nodes. Now see, as you can see how it is stored here. Your block 1 is stored in data node 1 also there, and it is stored in data node 4 also there, and it is stored in data node 7 also there. So it is stored in 3 different locations. Similarly, your block 4 is stored in a data node 2, data node 7 and data node 8. So as you can see here, your data node, once a client copies some data, it will be stored in your one data node. Now that is the responsibility of your data node to copy it to some other data node. So it will be copying into the same rack, or it will be copying in the different rack. That means rack is nothing but a collection of your data node. So it will be copying into your same rack or different rack. So it is the responsibility of an administrator to which block it has to copy, or what happens if there is a failure and all, how to copy or how to take a backup of the data. So this is how it is been replicated or copied. Okay, now there is something called as safe mode, HDFS safe mode. So if you want to enter into a safe mode where blocks cannot be replicated or deleted. So once you enter into a safe mode, you have seen in your Windows and all safe mode, in which if you enter into a safe mode, you can't plug into other input output devices. You can't do any other deletion or what is that, insertion of your any other input devices. Similarly, in HDFS you will be having a safe mode where blocks cannot be replicated or deleted. Okay, now this safe mode enables the name node. Okay, it mainly used by the name node to perform 2 important processes. The first one is the previous file system state is reconstructed by loading the FS image file into memory and replaying the edit logs. Now this FS image file is nothing but a file is created when a client requested some data to the data node. It means the first image of your data, how it is created, where it is created, everything will be stored in this fs image file. And there is something called as edit log. Now in the future, if someone edits some data, or it has to, like when this client wants to retrieve or write some data, each and every log will be stored into this edit log. Okay, now this safe mode enables reconstructed by loading the fs image. Let me, if you want to reconstruct this fs image file, you can enter into the safe mode. Okay, now the second important process is nothing but mapping between blocks and data nodes is created by waiting for enough data nodes to register so that at least one copy of the data is available. Now suppose data nodes are not available, or what is that, are not available, so you can enter into a safe mode. That means you can't create a blocks or anything. So until and unless one data node is available, you can enter into a safe mode. Okay. So next topic is rack awareness. I told you about rack. What are rack? Rack is nothing but a collection of your data nodes. So one rack may consist of n number of data nodes. Okay, so there will be multiple rack. Okay, located into different locations. Now what is rack awareness? Rack awareness deals with the data locality. It means where your data has been located, in which area or in which network, and so on. Now suppose a client wants to retrieve the data. So what your Hadoop will do is, it will be what is that? It will be giving you the IP address of the rack which is near to you. So if it is far from you, it will be taking a more bandwidth to transfer the data, because the data is of TB or petabytes here. So your Hadoop will be giving you the IP address of the nearest node or nearest rack where you can retrieve the data. Okay, now you can see the highlighted block there. Hadoop cluster will exhibit 3 levels of data locality. So if data resides on the local machine, I mean in the same machine, so it is a best option. Okay, so instead of going to some other rack which is situated in some other area or some other country or something like that, so if it is situated in the same machine where you are processing the data, so it is the best one. Second one, data resides in the same rack or same rack, that means which is a collection of your data node in the same rack, it is also a best one, best option. And the good option, data resides in a different rack. Why is it a very good option? They are saying is, if something happens to one rack, there will be a backup in your different rack. So always it's a good option to store your data into a different rack. If some rack will be gone down, there will be your backup in your other racks there. Okay, now if an entire rack failure will not cause data loss or stop HDFS from working, performance may be degraded. However, HDFS can be made rack aware by using a user deprived script that enables the master node to map the network topology to the cluster. That means even if your even if you store the data in the same rack and your rack gets failure or something happens, your rack in a Hadoop system, your whole rack will not be destroyed, because there is some script written to take your backup of your data. Because as a one data node will be gets failure or something, there will be a replication concepts where data node automatically replicates your data into some other rack. So even if it is stored in some rack, so before it gets failure, it will be copied into some other rack here. Okay, So next topic is name node availability. So name node high availability. As I told you earlier, name node will be consisting of all the data about the data node, where it is stored, how it is stored, in which location it is stored. So what happens if it comes down? What their name node has been compromised. Okay, so Hadoop will be giving you architecture will be consisting of one more standby name node. The solution was to implement name node high availability as means to provide a true failover service. That means if anything happens to a name node, there will be a standby node. So each machine is configured with exactly the same software. That means both the active name node and the standby name node will be having the same software configured in it. Okay, so as you can see in the picture, there is an active name node, there is a standby name node. So only the active name node writes edits. So whenever a client requests, a general node requests some data, so first it will be asking to a active name node, not to the standby name node. But a standby node name node will be having a checkpoint node. That means some it will be having some logs. So like in active node, whatever the request has come will be stored into a standby node, but standby name node will not process those data. The processing of data will be done only by the active name node. Okay, so data nodes repose to both the name nodes, but only take orders from the active one. So active one only it takes some orders. Then also it copies into a replies to a standby name node here. So it doesn't take any information from standby, but keeps the copy to a standby node here. Standby nodes name node reads edits from the journal and also acts like a checkpoint node. Okay. So the last topic is HDFS checkpoints and backups. As the name suggests, backup and recovery. That means whenever there is a failure in the systems, so HDFS provides you this backup and recovery. Okay, so the name node stores some metadata of the HDFS file systems in a file called FS image. There is a file called in your name node which stores the metadata of your HDFS file there. Okay, so your file system modification, any modification written to the edit log and at a startup, the name node merges the edits into a new FS image. So if anything happens, if you want to write or read the data, when it happens, everything will be stored into a log file, and it is a responsibility of a name node to merge this into a new FS image. FS image is nothing but your metadata, where data about your data, right? Then there will be a secondary node, which I already told you what is secondary name node, or we call as checkpoint node, which periodically fetches the edits from the name node, merges them and returns an updated FS image to the name node. So it is the responsibility of both, which is that your name node as well as your secondary name node to fetch the edits, return to your data node, and also update that FS image into a new FS image. Okay, and HDFS backup node is similar, but also maintains an up-to-date copy of the file system namespace both in memory and on disk. So there is also a node called as backup node, which maintains an up-to-date copy of the namespace in your disk also or in your memory also. So both the copies will be stored into your as I want to mention one thing, a name node supports only one backup node at a time. So backup node is nothing but where your data has been stored in your disk and memory. So it supports only one at a time. So next one is HDFS snapshots. The HDFS snapshots are nothing but a read only point in time copies of the file system. So there are some features which are there in your snapshot. That is nothing but snapshots can be taken of a subtree of a file system or the entire file system. That means you can take a snapshot of your subtree. That means your half of your data node or the entire data nodes or name node and everything. Snapshots can be used for data backup, protection against user errors, and disaster recovery. So snapshot creation is instantaneous. That means whenever you want it, you can take a snapshot of your data. That means your backup of your data. So blocks on the data nodes are not copied because the snapshot files record the blocks list and the file size. There is no data copying, although it appears to the user that there are duplicate files. So as I told you this, there is no copying of data. There is only they will be keeping only the list of the blocks. How many list of blocks are there? How many data blocks are there? What is the size of the file, and etc. It does not copy the whole data. Whole data will be copied into a backup and recovery HDFS. That is some other concept. But in snapshots only they will be keeping the block list and the file size. Okay. So next is a HDFS gateway. HDFS gateway uses NFS concept. NFS is nothing but network file system. That means attaching the storage to the network. It means your network storage becomes a node here, because as I told you earlier, Hadoop uses a large amount of data. So whatever comes in a concept, network or storage, it uses this SAN, that is nothing but storage area network, for the support of this Hadoop architecture. Okay, so the users can browse the HDFS file system through their local file system also, that provide an NFS version 3 kind compatible operating system. That means they will be having NFS version 3 client compatible in their operating system, so that they can browse through their own local file system here. So there are advantages by using this is users can easily download or upload files to the HDFS file system to or from their local file systems, and also users can stream data directly to HDFS through the mounted point. So here the bandwidth is also less, because your whole data is stored in the local file system, which is provided by your network file system. So these were the few topics in your HDFS about backup, recovery and checkpoints, and the gateways where we use network file system to provide you the storage. Okay, so I hope you understood these topics about Hadoop distributed file system basics. In the next video we will be seeing about some user commands which will be using some Unix commands type of things. So next class we will see that. So till then, thank you, have a nice day.